Hello student, I Devatanand Gupta going to take your BST class and we are going to start chapter 2 forms of business organization. Before going to this chapter, I want to discuss certain thing. Suppose if you are planning to start a business or interested in expanding an existing one, the important decision relate to the choice of the business or the form of organization, which one will be the appropriate and which one I have to choose for my business. The most appropriate form of organization or form of organization can be chosen by seeing its advantage and disadvantage or comparing its advantage and disadvantage. We are overall looking overall about this one, then we are doing a or choosing a business. Now today we are going to check forms of business organization. In forms of business organization, forms of private sector undertaking can be distinguished between two parts. One is non-corporate sector and second is corporate sector. In non-corporate sector, there is three divisions. One is sole proprietorship business, second is joint Hindu family business, and third is partnership business. Today, first I am going to discuss about sole proprietorship business. Sole proprietorship business is that type of business which is wholly managed by one person, and it means owned, financed and controlled by a single person who is recipient of all profit and bearer of all risks. Means he is taking all the risks, he is taking all, he is contributing all the capitals into the business. It is suitable in areas of personalized services. Means sole proprietorship business is that type of business and it is suitable for the areas where beauty parlor, hair cutting and small scale activities like retail shops are running. Features. First, let us discuss about the features of sole proprietorship business. First, let us go in terms of ownership. First is single ownership. Single ownership means it is wholly owned by one individual. Second one is control. Complete control with the owner's hand, means total control of the business is in the hand of the owners. Number 3, no separate legal entity. No separate legal entity means it has no difference legally, it has no difference between business and the businessman. It is treated similar. Unlimited liability. Unlimited liability means the liability of the owner is unlimited. In case the assets of the business and not sufficient to meet its debt, then his or her personal property of the owner are also used for paying the debt. It means unlimited liability, not with the business only. If the asset is not proper for paying the debts, then your personal property is also attached for paying it. Next one is no legal formalities are there. Means there is no legal formalities to start a business. Whenever you want to start and easy for formation, and there is no legal requirement to open this type of business. Last one is the sole risk bearer. Means whatever the risk is in the business, it is bear by the sole proprietor or owner of the business, and whatever the profit is there, it is managed by it is taken by the owner itself. Now let us go to the merits of sole proprietorship business. Merits of sole proprietorship business. First one, it is easy to start and choose. Means easy to start and close. First one, whenever we are starting a business, it can be easily start and easily close without any legal formalities. There is no restriction that you are going to start, then you have to take license, this and all, and when you are going to close the business, there are certain rules and regulations. There is no rules and regulation while opening and closing the business. Now quick decision means all the decisions are in one hand, therefore a sole trader is not required to consult or inform anybody about this decision. Now third one is confidentiality of information, means all the information and all the confidential secretly can be maintained. Then next one is no legal formality, means there is no legal formalities to start, manage and dissolve such business organization in all. Limitation, next one. Limitation or demerits of sole proprietorship business. First one, limited financial resource, because funds are limited to the owner personal saving and his borrowing capacity. If borrowing capacity is more, then it can be, but borrowing capacity and personal saving of the owner determine the size of the or financial resource of the business. Number two, limited managerial ability, means everything cannot be owned and managed by one person. He has limited skill and limited knowledge about what he want to do. Next one is, third is unlimited liability. Unlimited liability means, we have already discussed in the features. Unlimited liability means that if your property or asset is not, business property or asset is not sufficient to pay your debt, then your personal property is also attached. Next one is, we are going to uncertain in life, means uncertain in life, death, insolvency, lunacy or illness of a proprietor affect the business and can lead to the closure. Suppose I am suffering from certain ill or lunacy or death or illness, due to that business can suffer a lot and it will go to close also. Next one is limited scope of expansion. Limited scope of expansion means due to the limited capital, my capital is limited and managerial skill is also is limited to a certain extent. It cannot expand to a large scale business because my ability and capital investment is less. Next one is, in what type of business this is suitable. First, where the personal attention to customer is required, as in tailoring, in beauty parlor, in parlor, this all area it is suitable. Next one, when goods is under standardized, like artistic, jewelry, there also sole proprietorship business can be started. Next one, we can say that where modest capital and limited managerial skill is required. In case of the retail stores, means whatever the small shops are opened in the certain areas and all, this area is also used for opening a sole proprietorship business. Next one and the last, business where risk is not extensive, that is lesser fluctuation in price and demand, that is stationary shop. Wherever we are purchasing goods, we are purchasing furniture, we are purchasing small items, these all are related with the sole proprietorship business. Means sole proprietorship business is the one man business where each and everything is handled by one person and it is suitable for that type of business where personal attention to the customer is required. Now let us discuss about the joint Hindu family business. Joint Hindu family business is that type of business and it is found only in India. It means except India, no other country is joint Hindu family business is there. It is the one of the oldest form of the business organization in the country. It refers to a form of organization where the business is owned and carried by the Hindu undivided family, that is called HUF, Hindu undivided family. Now here the term came. First is it is governed, means all the rules and regulation of this joint Hindu family business is owned and managed, governed by the Hindu law. The basis of the membership is birth in a particular family. Then first we are going to discuss about Karta. Who is the Karta in the business? Karta in the business. Karta, it is owned by the member of the sub undivided joint Hindu family and managed by the oldest or senior most member of the family. That person is known as Karta. Karta means the person who manage and control the whole business. Next one is co-parsoner. Co-parsoner means all members have equal rights over the property of the ancestor. Means whatever the property is there, all property, all the members has its rights, and they are said to be the co-parsoner. Means Karta means head of the family, and other members are known as co-parsoner. And joint Hindu family business is governed by the Hindu law, Hindu Succession Act, Hindu Succession Act 1956, where each and every activities and each and every thing is regarding legal is looked after this act. Features. Let us start with the features. First one is the formation. Formation. Features of joint Hindu family business are as follows. Number one, formation. Formation means for joint Hindu family business, there should be at least 2 members. Means whenever we are doing the joint Hindu family business, there should be 2 members at least to start the business, and some ancestral property to be inherent by them. Next one, membership by birth. There are 2 systems which govern membership: Daya Bhagya system and Mitaka Sara system. Daya Bhagya system, it prevails in West Bengal and allow both male and the female members to be the co-person. Daya Bhagya system means that involvement of male as well as female member as a co-parsoner. It prevails only in West Bengal. Next one is Mitaksara system. It prevails all over the India except West Bengal. It means Mitaksara system is prevail excluding West Bengal, that allows only male member to be the co-parsoner. Liability of the Karta is unlimited, but others members has limited liability. Means whole liability and burden is upon the Karta, and other members having the limited state of liability. Continuity. The business is not affected by the death of or incapacity of Karta. In such cases, the next senior male member become Karta. And next one is the minor member. A minor can also become a full-fledged member of family business, as minor can be the member of the joint Hindu family business by birth. Okay, now we are going to discuss about the merits of joint Hindu family business. Joint Hindu family business. First one is effective control. Effective control means the Karta can properly or promptly take decision as he is absolute decision making owner or power. Second one, continued business existence, means if Karta died due to the levancy or death or any inefficient other manner, then the business as the next eldest member will take over the position. Third one is the limited liability. The liability of the members except Karta is limited. It gives them relief. For secrecy. Secrecy means complete secrecy regarding business decision can be maintained by the Karta by not disclosing the information to the other member of the firm or business. Loyalty and cooperation. It helps in securing better cooperation and greater loyalty from all the members who run the business. Now, any business which is having advantage, it will carry forward with disadvantage also. First disadvantage, let us or demerits of the joint Hindu family business. First one is limited capital. There is a shortage of capital as it is limited to a ancestral property only. Number two, unlimited liability of the Karta, means everything is done by the Karta only and all the burdens have to bear by the Karta. It means it makes him less enterprising. Number three, dominance of Karta. Karta manages the business and sometimes he ignores the value advice of others members. Therefore, this may cause conflict among the members and may lead to the breakdown of the family business, because each and everything has been done by the Karta and Karta is not willing to listen the other member ideas and all. That time conflict will be arise and decision will be an unbalanced decision. Next one is limited managerial skill. Limited managerial skill also pose a serious problem that joint Hindu family business is on decline because of the diminishing of joint Hindu family business in the country. It means that all over, if we discuss about the joint Hindu family business, each and everything is controlled and managed by the Karta and co-personal are the members of the family and all the members by birth only get the rights in the business. Thank you.